Rotterdam doesn't look like the Netherlands at all, and that's exactly why it scares people who expect canals and postcards. Rotterdam rose from destruction, rejected nostalgia, and rebuilt itself as a bold, modern city that chose the future. World War II destruction and the radical rebuild. And here's where the story takes a hard turn. In May 1940, Rotterdam didn't just get damaged during World War II. It was erased. German bombers flattened the historic city center in minutes. Streets that had taken centuries to form were gone overnight. Homes, churches, canals, memories burned into rubble and smoke. When the fires finally died down, there wasn't much left to save. Now, this is where Rotterdam made a decision no other Dutch city would dare to make. Instead of rebuilding the past, the city walked away from it. While cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Delft carefully restored their old streets and historic layouts, Rotterdam's leaders looked at the empty land and said, "We're not going backwards." No recreating medieval canals. No copying old facades. No pretending nothing happened. They chose modern urban planning, wide roads, open spaces, functional design, and room to experiment. It wasn't about beauty or nostalgia. It was about efficiency, resilience, and moving forward as fast as possible. This choice shocked the rest of the country. Other Dutch cities doubled down on tradition, preserving their old identities like museum exhibits. Rotterdam did the opposite. It accepted the loss, absorbed the pain, and rebuilt with zero sentimentality. The city became sharper, tougher, more practical, almost defiant. And that single decision permanently separated Rotterdam from the rest of the Netherlands. Because once you erase the past and refuse to rebuild it, you don't just change buildings, you change mindset, culture, and identity. Rotterdam stopped being a historic Dutch city and became something entirely new. Let me ask you this: if your city were wiped out, would you rebuild what was lost, or would you start over completely? Rotterdam as an architectural experiment lab. And this is where Rotterdam really starts to feel different. With so much empty land after the war, the city quietly turned into something rare, a full-scale testing ground for architecture. No safety net, no rulebook. Architects weren't told to blend in or play it safe. They were told to try things, push ideas, break shapes, see what happens. And that freedom changed everything. Rotterdam never locked itself into one look. There's no single architectural identity here, no postcard style frozen in time. Every decade brings something new. Concrete giants rise next to glass towers. Sharp angles clash with smooth curves. Some buildings feel futuristic. Others feel raw and industrial. That's not an accident. It's the point. While other Dutch cities protect their skylines like fragile antiques, Rotterdam keeps asking, what's next? And more importantly, what works? If a design is bold but practical, it gets built. If it's strange but useful, it stays. That mindset reflects the city itself. Rotterdam architecture doesn't try to charm you. It doesn't care if you think it's pretty. It's practical, forward-thinking, and completely unsentimental. Buildings exist to be used, not admired from a distance. And here's the thing. This kind of risk-taking scares traditional cities. But Rotterdam leaned into it, again and again. Reinvention became the norm, not the exception. Ever seen a city that treats itself like a living experiment? Iconic buildings that redefine Dutch architecture. And now, the difference becomes impossible to miss. Start with the cube houses. Tilted, yellow, and sitting at impossible angles, they look like someone dared an architect to ignore every rule. These aren't sculptures, they're real homes. Living inside one feels like existing inside a question mark. Rotterdam didn't just allow this idea, it embraced it. Then there's the Markt Hall, And this one hits you immediately. A massive arch stretching over a food market, apartments built into its curve, and a ceiling exploding with color and artwork. It's food, housing, and public space mashed together into one bold statement. No other Dutch city would gamble on something this loud. Cross the river and you meet the Erasmus Bridge, the Swan. Sleek, asymmetrical, and sharp, it doesn't blend into the skyline. It defines it. More than a bridge, it's a symbol of modern engineering and movement, connecting the city physically and visually. Then step back in time to the Van Nelle factory. Clean lines, glass walls, steel frames, built long before modernism was popular. It wasn't flashy, it was functional. And today, it's recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of early modern design. And standing quietly among all this is the Witte. Built in 1898, it survived the bombing. Surrounded by modern giants, it feels like a time traveler. Proof of what once was, framed by what came after. Old and new, side by side. No apologies. No blending. Just contrast. Ever seen a city this comfortable with standing out? Skyline versus canals. Rotterdam versus traditional Netherlands. And this is where the difference hits you in the face. Most people picture the Netherlands as quiet canals, narrow houses, and bicycles gliding past centuries-old buildings. That image works, just not here. Rotterdam tore up that expectation and replaced it with something taller, louder, and wider. This is the only city in the country with a real skyline. Glass towers, high-rises, bold silhouettes cutting into the sky. Streets built wide enough to breathe. When you stand in central Rotterdam, you don't feel like you're in a preserved European town. You feel like you're in a modern metropolis that happens to sit in the Netherlands. Meanwhile, cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Delft protected their canals and low-rise layouts like sacred ground. Rotterdam didn't. It traded charm for scale, history for height, intimacy for movement. And that choice changes how the city feels. Instead of wandering through postcard streets, you look up. Instead of quiet reflections in canals, you get reflections in glass. Rotterdam doesn't invite you to slow down. It pushes you forward. It feels international, fast, built for today, not yesterday. So here's the question. When you think of the Netherlands, would you ever expect a skyline like this? Europe's largest port and working-class identity. And none of this makes sense without the port. Rotterdam isn't just a city, it's Europe's largest seaport. Ships come in loaded with goods from every corner of the world, and that constant movement shaped the city's DNA. This place was built on labor, logistics, and trade, not tourism. You feel it immediately. Rotterdam doesn't perform for visitors. It doesn't polish itself to look pretty. It works. Dock workers, cranes, containers, schedules. This city runs on efficiency and effort. There's pride in that, a quiet toughness. While other cities focus on postcard beauty, Rotterdam focuses on getting things done. The architecture reflects it. The streets reflect it. Even the attitude does. Less romance, more realism. This isn't a city trying to impress you. It's a city too busy moving the world's goods to slow down for a photo. And that working-class mindset, direct, practical, no nonsense, is exactly what sets Rotterdam apart from the rest of the Netherlands. Multicultural, gritty, and unpolished culture. And this difference isn't just concrete and steel, it's people. Rotterdam is one of the most multicultural cities in the Netherlands, and you feel that the moment you walk its streets. Different languages blend. Food from every corner of the world spills out of markets, cafes, and neighborhoods that don't try to look curated or tourist-friendly. This city doesn't chase romance. It doesn't soften its edges. Rotterdam feels real, sometimes rough, sometimes loud, and that's exactly how locals like it. There's pride in the grit, in the fact that this city had to rebuild itself not once, but over and over again. You won't find people here pretending life is perfect. What you find instead is resilience, a toughness shaped by loss, labor, and constant change. People who don't complain about what's missing, they focus on what's next. That multicultural mix didn't dilute Rotterdam's identity. It strengthened it. It made the city sharper, more direct, more alive. This isn't a place that wants to be admired. It wants to be lived in. Rotterdam's attitude. No sentimentality, only progress. This is the heart of it all. Rotterdam doesn't romanticize the past. It doesn't cling to old stories or frozen memories. If something no longer works, it gets torn down. If something can be better, it gets rebuilt. That mindset runs deep. Here, change isn't feared. It's expected. Buildings come and go. Neighborhoods evolve. The skyline keeps shifting. Nothing is ever considered finished, and that's not a flaw. It's a philosophy. While other cities protect what once was, Rotterdam focuses on what could be. The goal isn't to make things prettier, it's to make them better, more efficient, more useful, more honest. That attitude can feel cold to outsiders, but to Rotterdam, it's survival. Progress over nostalgia, movement over memory. This city doesn't look back unless it has to, and even then, it's already planning the next step forward. So ask yourself, how many cities are brave enough to keep starting over? Rotterdam proves that destruction doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean reinvention. By rejecting nostalgia and choosing progress, this city became something no other Dutch city dared to be. And that's why Rotterdam stands apart. So what do you think? Future or past? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe.